One of the craziest damn things we saw all night, Undertaker defeated Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell. 30 minutes and 5 seconds. They went a full half an hour. Let's be honest, they really didn't go a full half an hour. There's a lot of laying around in this match. I'll go ahead and start out with this one. So, we talked about nostalgia earlier, WrestleMania. From a nostalgia perspective, I enjoyed this match. It was great to see Shane could still do a lot of the things that he used to be able to do. Hitting the coast-to-coast spot, hitting the spot off the top of the cage, hitting all those things. That being said, I have some major issues in this match. Number one, Shane McMahon kicks out of the last ride. He kicks out of a choke slam on top of the steel steps, and he manages to escape from Hell's Gate. Tell me another wrestler that's not Brock Lesnar that has been able to kick out of all three of those particulars. So, what you're telling me is that Shane McMahon could compete with Brock Lesnar based on just his toughness level and craziness level alone, and what he kicked out of. Now, if he'd have kicked out of...
Well, he is a McMahon.
If he would have kicked out of the tombstone, I'd have quit watching. Like, I would have flipped the TV off literally and just would have been like, alright, I'm done. Yeah, that was honestly, besides the ridiculously slow pace that this match had, that was really the only other complaint I had. Cool spots, and it was a spot fest. I gave it a B. Still thought, like, they did an excellent job for what it was. It was a better actual match than I thought it was gonna be. I kinda thought it might be a shit show. But both guys proved like they could work. It was just a little bit too slow paced for me, and logically, Shane kicking out of everything didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. What are your guys' thoughts? Hoxter?
Alright, well, the slow pace, I'm fine with, because everything The Undertaker has almost always done has been slow pace, so I'm cool with that. But the fact that, yeah, he kicked out of the last ride, really? And it's not even that he kicked out of the last ride, it's that The Undertaker went straight into the pin right after delivering it, and then he kicked out. Yeah. Like, if you would have had The Undertaker go to a knee, catch his breath, then go to a pinfall, okay, cool, I can buy that. The moment where Shane got Undertaker in, I guess you could call it Hell's Gate, but the triangle chokehold, I thought that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And, pumping the crowd up, and I thought that was pretty cool. I could have done without Undertaker choke slamming him onto the steel cage, or onto the steel chairs and then kicking out. That was another really? Right away, really? But I'm okay with the slow pace. Those are really the only two downsides from the match that I had. Him in the Hell's Gate and then getting out of that, I'm okay with that, because I think that sells the tenacity and the resiliency of Shane McMahon. I'm okay with that point.
Yeah, but Lesnar didn't get out of it. He got choked unconscious in it.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true. But this is Shane McMahon, damn it. So, and with what was on the line in this match, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Showing the I'm gonna do whatever it takes kind of a thing. I get that, but those three big spots with those three big moves from The Undertaker, the breakout, so to speak, was a little rushed. Like, if you had some pauses in between, give him like a chance to catch his breath, and then work something that way, I think I could have bought it a little more. But those were the big downsides for me. Everything else I thought was awesome. The coast to coast, the fact that he could jump that far still blew me away. I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna be so upset if he doesn't make it that far.
He actually jumped further than he used to be able to, because he could barely hit that coast to coast before. This one, he cleared it with plenty of space to go. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that blew my mind. That was pretty awesome. The climb up top, like, everybody knew it was gonna happen because of Shane McMahon. Everybody knew it was gonna happen. But when he looked up, and the whole crowd was like, oh shit. It was one of those just silence moves. And then when he jumped out, cause I had my phone out recording that video so I could send this to a couple of my friends. I mean, I don't know, that didn't happen. Allegedly, I had my phone out recording this. But when he jumped out, and right at the last second, I see Undertaker roll off the table, I screamed like, "Oh shit! He rolled out of the way!"
I told my kids it was gonna happen right before it happened. So, Dad.
Oh my gosh! How Shane McMahon was walking the next day blows my mind because they kept saying 20 feet, 20 feet.
Yeah.
That had to have been a lot higher than 20 feet.
Well,
I
don't want to be that guy, but if you look and you watch it again, look at the airbag that was under the table that they had. I thought it was brilliantly placed, like the way it is.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice it until like the third replay. Then I went, oh shoot, yeah, there's an airbag under there. But
yeah.
Still,
it was the third time watching the full match I saw it, but still, like, oh wow, they really sold that, and having Undertaker carry him in and tombstone him, and the little pat on the face. Yeah. I remembered when we did the prediction show about earning the respect kind of thing, and like, okay, that did it. I'm cool. I don't care. Vince McMahon can run Raw for the rest of eternity. That match was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had its moments. Again, agreed. It had its moments of questionable booking, but the match overall I was very happy with.
So I'm
going to give it a B+.
B+? Cool. So, first WrestleMania I watched in Ultra HD. Just got my 4K TV right before WrestleMania. There's one spot in there where Shane's got Undertaker, or the Underwear Taker, in the triangle choke, and if I didn't have Ultra HD, it might have saved me a moment, but Undertaker's nose was just dripping snot and sweat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but
oh yeah,
because it was in Ultra HD, all I could see is just snots just coming out and landing all over Shane, and I was like, oh, that's so gross and so awesome at the same time. But anyway, just thought I'd throw a little tidbit out there to you guys, not to take away. Cedric, how'd you feel about this?
Yeah, the whole snot fest had everybody here in the house looking away except me. Not that I like looking at snot, but I didn't want to miss anything in the match.
Yeah.
This was a match that was buried, and no pun intended, because it was The Undertaker. This match was buried from the moment that it got mentioned. Internet went crazy, just destroying this match. And it was funny because some of the substitutes that people wanted to put instead of Shane McMahon, in my opinion, would have not saved the match any more than what people thought. I actually liked the match. I think us three are some of the few folks that I've heard or read online that actually liked the match. Some people did not give it any chance. And again, I'll say it again, and we might have a guest or two pretty soon if we can book it, where we definitely are going to make positive will. But
I need to get his thoughts.
I say it again. It's okay to be overly critical of something. But if you cannot find anything positive to say about anything, you really have to question, are you still a fan?
Agreed.
This was a good match when it comes to the nostalgia feel. I think the pat in the face, who knows if Undertaker's thinking, I saw this kid grow up as a teenager to this man that he is today, and here we are having this match.
Yeah.
Because these guys have feelings, man. People talk about wrestlers, they have no feelings. I read a comment, I don't care what you feel, what you think, if you're hurt or not. I'm the consumer, I'm the one buying, you gotta please me. These people are humans, these people have lives, and if one thing I've learned listening to some of our guests, listening to some podcasts, reading some books and stuff, these people are emotional people, and this means a lot to them. So who knows if that little pat in the face was like, this is the little boy growing into a man, what a match. You know what I'm saying? The whole respect factor that you guys have mentioned.
I dig it.
The, him breaking out the, Hell's Gate kind of puts more, validity to his jiu-jitsu background that he has. They did mention that he practiced one of the Gracies. So that kind of gives you, like, that whole, if somebody was going to break out of it, it would be him. Even though Brock Lesnar was big and strong and an MMA guy, he wasn't that much of an MMA guy. He was really more of a wrestler with a few little things here and there that he learned. Shane McMahon was being painted as somebody that's been practicing Muay Thai for a while and is practicing jiu-jitsu with the greatest jiu-jitsu family out there, the Gracies. So you kind of see that, as well as I agree with you guys. What was on the line was so great that they're trying to say that boosted him even more to be able to kick out of these things, these moves that other wrestlers, full-time wrestlers, bigger wrestlers were not able to do. I still got a bone to pick with Shane. Shane, you're not the originator of Coast to Coast. It's RVD. Okay, so stop taking credit, dang it. But anyway, he overshot it. He freaking overshot it, which is amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
In my opinion. And, the bump, I saw the airbags immediately. I too have one of those, ultra super high def 4K times 10 to the -2 power, whatever, TVs. You could clearly see the airbags, but I didn't care. I read somebody who massacred, I guess superstar Billy Graham was saying that he was an idiot. That anybody who puts his health on the line with his wife and kids watching, that's an idiot. That's not something special. You put your life on the line when you were taking stuff to make yourself look big, to each their own. I'm just saying. It is what I'll finish with this. The match is what it is. An older Undertaker who takes forever to get to the ring, but still gives you goosebumps. Mm-hmm. Shane showing up with his kids. Beautiful thing. I think it meant a lot.
Yeah.
And they did the best that they could. And you know what? I like the fight. I'll give it a B- because I got that bone to pick. But other than that, I like the match. It is what it is. And it was a good match. It's not people in their prime. It's not even a guy who's a wrestler. But yet, you know what? They went out entertained, and that's all you can ask for. When it's sports, entertaining.
Yeah, and this wasn't a wrestling match, but when is Hell in a Cell like a wrestling match? It's a brawl, like from the get-go. Right. So considering what we saw, I mean, I had no problems with it. So cool. Yeah, I think that everybody made very good points, and I think the problems we had with the match were just more in the way it was put together. But Vince told us in the beginning that with his last breath, Shane McMahon was gonna claw and scratch, and then it always makes me think of Undertaker, but it won't be enough. And that's exactly what we saw during that match. So I thought the build up and the short amount of time they did it was actually pretty good, and I was very interested in that match. So, all right. So, quickly here, let's cover the 20-man battle royal for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. I'll get into mine here real quick. Just, the pizza from 2 hours ago was kind of knocking right around this part of Mania. So this was kind of what I had to go back and watch later. But I could tell you, I like the results. Just please do something with it. What I didn't like was the fact that Baron Corbin didn't do a whole lot in the match and then just sort of snuck up behind Kane and threw him out. So hopefully they just make him look a little better than just like an opportunist. But overall, I gave this a D+. It just didn't really do anything for me. It wasn't crazy exciting. Did not like Shaq being in the ring at all. Just me personally. Now Shaq wants to train and actually wrestle, cool, but if you're gonna do a choke slam and then whatever in the hell you want to call that he did with Shaq, where they both just, it was very Great Khali-esque. And that's not a compliment. Your guys' thoughts?
All right, well, yeah, Shaq, WTF. What the hell is Shaq doing at WrestleMania? He's gone on the record a few times saying he wanted to get in the ring, but cool and everything. I understand you're a fan, but what the hell? Really? Shaq? In his own entrance? Really? What? But when we talked about organizing the card, or when I talked about organizing the card or whatever, I would have put this as your USA opening match. Because I think that would have really sold the product. Hey, go get the network right now, and you're going to see this times 12. And that's where I would have put this. And I would have put the Kalisto match and Ryback match probably up here right before Undertaker. That's where I would have put it. Or honestly, I probably would have put it right there just as a buffer between the two main events. But I'm going to give it a C. I thought it was entertaining. The Shaq, I'm just like, what the hell? Why is Shaq in the ring? But yeah, I agree with you there. I think it was awesome to have Baron Corbin win. I think it would have been cooler if they actually gave him his own entrance. Like from NXT, who, earned whatever way to get in this match, build some kind of pop into there, and just, instead of just, why is Baron Corbin in the match? Like, I realized it about halfway in. Holy crap, Baron Corbin's in there. Cause yeah, if you don't watch NXT, you have no idea who the hell he is. But the way he won, like, honestly, I think kind of plays to his character too.
Yeah.
Cause he's that guy who was farmed from the NFL to come here. He isn't some indie darling that everybody knows and everybody loves. And in fact, part of his character is, screw you indie guys. Like, I'm the chosen one kind of a thing. I'm here because this is what I kind of dominated the NFL. Now I'm going to dominate here. But he always has that kind of chip on his shoulder, I guess, and he doesn't always get the job done. So I was okay with the way he won, kind of a fluky victory, so to speak. But aside from that, there really wasn't a lot of high spots or big spots that were really memorable for me.
Yeah, I forgot.
I liked the pop with Isdow. I thought that was kind of neat. He's always going to get that pop, and people still love him, even though he was just thrown out. But yeah, I give it a C. It was entertaining, but it really wasn't anything special. I hope they do something with Baron Corbin in the future, because I think he is a very talented guy. So we'll see what happens.
I forgot to mention, because I was in the bathroom, I missed Tatanka. And I got very sad about that. So when I rewatched it, I went, "Holy shit, is that Tatanka?"
I forgot to throw that out there. I'm like, I know what Rasquatch's favorite moment of WrestleMania is. Tatanka's in there.
My God, did he look old? But anyway, that's not there. Cedric, your thoughts on the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy Battle Royal?
I'll try to make this as quick as I can. First of all, from the beginning, what was it with just having a few of them being mentioned and actually coming out to the music? Yeah. That to me, I wasn't a very big fan of it, because those that did come out to their own music really did not play that much of anything in the match, except Kane, who was the last one to get eliminated.
And the man still can't win a Battle Royal or a Royal Rumble, but continue.
So that to me, I was like, that didn't make too much sense to me. I like what Hawk Standing said. It would have been better if you would have put this in USA, let the people see, hey, Shaq is in it, even though it made no sense. But all of a sudden you see something that you do recognize that might have been an attractor for others. DDP, I always liked DDP, but after he retired with the whole DDP yoga and some of the stories that I've heard of how he's helping people, I think I've become even a better fan of his. So anytime you get to see a diamond cutter, no matter if it's slow motion, and you're trying to hit you're trying to do play by two to make it look fast and it's still slow, I still appreciate it. I thought of you immediately when I saw Tatanka, but I'm like, man, mention the people who are in it, for crying out loud, especially these legends. Why wouldn't you not even mention that? The little victory run, I gotta laugh. Freaking this dark kid, man, he's just hilarious from Social Outcast. I freaking forgot his name, but anyway, you guys know. Bo Dallas, thank you. Yeah. He's just hilarious, man. And I agree with you. You need to
the other way. Let's go the other way.
It was funny. You need to have those kind of characters, because they play an important role. Believe it or not, listeners, they do play an important role, because without them, although in WWE they kind of forgotten what a jobber is, because they'll put main eventers to job. But anyway, that's a whole different story. Yeah. But at the end, I have been asking for Baron Corbin to come to the main roster for a while when I talk to my wife and my kids about it. I like his look. I like his style. Once he started talking, it kind of threw a little bit away from it. Keep him quiet. Just let him wrestle. Don't show too much emotions. On NXT, he started showing a little bit too much emotions. I think even on Raw, he kind of gave the whole, "This is on you, ref." And I was like, yeah, that's not really necessary. But he can wrestle. Not great wrestle, but he can wrestle. And I do appreciate when a wrestler has a moveset that is his, not copied. And you guys, this will be a topic to talk about some other time, but when you start seeing people copying each other and almost trying to call it their own, I'm not a big fan of it. But his Deep Six move and his End of Days move is awesome.
I always thought I always thought the end of days would hurt him more than his opponent, though. But go ahead.
It does, but it's just a nice setup because I wish I could remember who the wrestler was. It was a big wrestler, physically, like heavy, husky. I think it was, oh my gosh, the guy that does the whole
Bull Dempsey.
Thank you, the bull fit. That's what I was thinking about, the bull fit. I did not think he was gonna get him up. Not only does he get him up, he sets him up with his famous where he puts him looking up to the ceiling, and you see Dempsey's feet looking up, so you can tell that he torqued that forward, and then he went back, and I was like, you got me, you got me. So, bro, that's a nice move, especially because he was able to put it on a bigger character, a bigger person. Again, I said it before, and I'll say it again in the predictions. Please make the whole Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal mean something, because you build it under a legend. You put a legend's name to it. Let it mean something. Cesaro didn't get anything out of it. Big Show didn't get anything out of it. This is your time to not just push a new guy, but push him well. And have him remind us all the time, I did win. I am that NXT guy that came up and won this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So hopefully they'll do something with it.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'll give it a
predictions.
C- if I didn't mention it. I'll give it a D+, because it had its nice funny moments, which is what these matches have become, like the funny moments of it, but if they definitely do something with it, I'll be surprised, and by the same time, I'll be through with it.
Speaking of predictions, all three of us picked Braun Strowman to win this, and he wasn't even in the match. That just goes to show our skills.
If you look at the Vegas betting, he was the favorite to win.
Yeah.
Yes, people in Vegas do bet on wrestling. But, so just before we move on, I just want to say, did you guys know that on April 5th, Diamond Dallas Page turned 60? That man was 60 years old that you saw out there in the Battle Royal on the night of WrestleMania. Well, the night after. So,
I would say he was 37, 38 when he debuted in WCW?
He was in his mid-30s, yeah, when he started. So, just wanted to throw that out there as one last thing, because to me, that's just extremely impressive that the 60-year-old man's out there doing that. But, all right.
Pushing DDP Yoga. Go check out the website.
For the sake of time, I want to skip past this whole Rock thing. So the Rock came out, did an announcement, had a 6-second match, completely kind of buried the Wyatts again. John Cena joined him. You guys want to give a real quick thought on that before we take a few more minutes, because we're going to be over 2 hours for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to give one just real quick, and you can time me, see how quick I can get this done. As much as I praised the Stone Cold Steve Austin, HBK, and Mick Foley thing, I really could have cared less about The Rock even showing up. Like, all that build-up they did, okay, cool, awesome. The Rock is awesome, he's a special guy, but this did absolutely nothing for me. Like, I don't care.
Ah, it's 10 seconds. Pretty good. Cedric?
Didn't care for it. I was like, hey, you guys needed a whole entrance for The Rock, for him to mention that you guys broke the attendance record that we all knew was going to be broken. I was like, this is pretty dumb. When I saw the Wyatts come out, I was like, what a build for the Wyatts to knock The Rock around, maybe bring him back for a few matches to build these guys up. Nope. You guys know what I think about the Wyatts. I think they have all the potential, and the potential went out. You want to talk about burying? That's the way you bury your potential. I don't care what happened on Monday. WrestleMania, you pick WrestleMania to bring a guy who's not even an active wrestler anymore, another guy who's a wrestler, but he's hurt and not even cleared medically, and you get whooped that way, especially Braun Strowman. The Big Show can't even knock him out, but all of a sudden he gets rock bottom because John Cena and The Rock tagged him with a few punches. No. That to me, I understand the nostalgia. I understand the whole, woo, everybody roaring and screaming for their favorite wrestler. But to me, when you have potential in the Wyatts, you do them that way in WrestleMania, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm going to add 10 more seconds here.
Okay.
That's all right? All right, 10 more seconds. Ready? Start the clock. Boom.
Go.
to have The Rock go out there and praise Bray Wyatt for his charismatic ability and his showmanship, and then just to do that to him, to me hurts a lot, because again, the Wyatts supposed to be built up as such a powerhouse heel faction, and yet do not have a single defining pay-per-view win. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I would say except Bray beating Roman last year at Battleground, but other than that, yeah.
And you heard the reaction of the fans when he put over with those comments?
Yeah.
How the fans reacted?
Well, look at what how they were on Monday. I mean, they were genuinely excited, you know, even what had happened the night before. So,
yeah.
Anyhow, it would have been a great opportunity for The Rock to have said something, kind of stop Bray in his tracks. Rock rolls out of the ring, and then that's it. It would have been, if he would have just stopped by putting him over out there and then just ended with that, it would have been so much more effective. All right. So the main event, the big one, 27 minutes flat. This match went. Roman Reigns is the new champion, defeated Triple H. Your guys' thought on this match? Go ahead and take whatever time you need. I mean, we're going to be over 2 hours either way. So, Hulkster, your ideas in this match, your thoughts.
All right. Well, I'm just going to start this off, and regardless of how the match went, I don't think there's anything in the world that they could have done and have Roman Reigns win clean as a face that would have saved him from the boos that they got. And I feel really, really bad for Roman Reigns. The guy does a real tough job trying to get over, and he's doing the best with what the bookers are giving him. But oh my gosh, that was so loud. And I was talking to one of my buddies who was there at the event, and he's like, I've never heard such a loud rumbling boo in all my life. And I just my heart kind of breaks for him, because there's really nothing they could have done. Even a spear to Stephanie McMahon, it turned a few of them around. You could hear some definite cheers there. I think they were popping more for the fact that Stephanie got speared than anything else. Nothing really for Roman. But oh my gosh, it was bad. And there was even a moment during the match where Stephanie, the camera went over to Stephanie. She kind of threw her hands up like, I don't know what to do, kind of a thing, because she knew it was going to happen that way. But I'm just disappointed. And it's not even about the match, because to be honest, the match really wasn't that bad. If you mute the entire match and pretend that you love Roman Reigns and you hate Triple H, it was a really solid match. Triple H had some excellent heel work, wrenching the fingers during his submission holds, and just a lot of dirty stuff. The match itself, on mute, was a good match. I would give the match probably a B+ for the match. I like the slow build, working into the fight, and then building up at the bigger and bigger at the end, giving the sledgehammer in. You put the match on mute, I would have given this a B+. But because of the fans, and again, it's nothing against the fans, because I'm right there with them. I don't really care much for Roman Reigns at this specific point in his career as a stale face. But because of that interaction, because of the just chorus of boos and the stubbornness, I guess, of the booking to refuse to put him heel or have some kind of turn from either of them in that match, I think that says more against the booking. And I give this probably a C-, B+, somewhere in that range, because of the outside aura, I guess you could call it. And one last thing I want to put out is during the entrance, when Stephanie was up top, and that was a freaking badass entrance. Yeah, Triple H always has badass WrestleMania entrances, but during the entrance, Stephanie gets up there, grabs the mic, and this is a direct quote. I'm just reading this verbatim. "We are the absolute power. We own you. You are mere shells of humanity, hanging on to the empty notion of hope. Hope for a savior. Hope that someone or something will take away the pain that is your pathetic life. Till hope gets pulverized at the hands of reality. And tonight will be no different, because after tonight, all hope will be gone." And they're basically telling you that we're going through with what we're going through. Roman Reigns is going to be the face champion when this is over. And it was just like, I caught that the second time I watched the match. after already knowing what was happening, and I was listening to what she was saying. And the third time when I watched, I actually wrote everything down as she was saying it. I'm like, man, that's a big middle finger from Vince McMahon to the internet wrestling community right there.
I'll go one better since we're on that topic. The video with the bald people with their mouths, with the things over their mouths.
Yep.
The first thing I thought was silencing the masses. They don't care about your voice. And that was exactly what my thoughts were. And then that combined with her speech, I went, wow, is this a shoot? Like, you know, is this truly, like, are they putting this out there? I don't know how many people picked up on that subliminally, but I know it scared the shit out of my kids.
Yeah.
They thought it was creepy as hell. But,
yeah, cause I mean, what more can you do to try to get you to turn against Triple H in that match, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, fans are fans. But,
yeah.
So you're gonna give it an official D+ then, or C-?
I'm gonna officially give it a C-, because again, if you watch the match on mute, it was a pretty damn good match. But as soon as you hit that volume, it was just bad. Even after he won, like, you could hear the announcer and the music volume go up, and they mute the crowd because of all the boos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you guys do Snapchat or not, but I was watching some of the Snapchats, and for the first 3 hours after the event, they didn't show anything from Roman Reigns versus Triple H. And then that next morning, and I watched some of the Snapchats, and oh my gosh, like, my phone was just as loud, oh, when Roman Reigns was holding the title after everything went off the air. I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad for Roman Reigns, but I mean, the fans want what the fans want, and they didn't get what they wanted.
All right, Cedric, your thoughts?
I just want to know what these so-called fans want, because it seems like nothing really satisfies them.
Dean Ambrose is world champion. Sami Zayn is world champion.
Kevin Owens
is world champion. And
AJ Styles.
I don't know.
Anyway, the entrance, if somebody can get under my skin, Stephanie can. Stephanie can definitely get under my skin with her voice and the stuff that she says, because we all know she was born into this lifestyle and definitely has benefited from it throughout the years and still does. And sometimes I wonder how much of it is real, how much of it is fake, you know. But she does a really good job getting under my skin. Thanks for explaining what the mask were, because I could not understand the mask. Like, just seeing Triple H normal, his attire, and then seeing these things on the side, which looked pretty creepy. I couldn't understand what that meant, but now that you explained it, and all of them holding the titles, that kind of threw me off a little bit. Didn't really get it too much. The entrance for Roman was The match itself, it wasn't bad. I agree with Hulk Standing. It was not a bad match. You can still tell that Triple H, at his age, still can hang with the best of them and make some of these guys that think that they're all that and more look stupid. And don't understand why some people hate so much in Triple H. I've heard people call him overrated, bad wrestler. He has no idea. Again, you're not a fan. If you cannot appreciate what the man brings to the table, you're not a fan. The guy he has had brutal matches, has technical matches. He is the cerebral assassin for a reason. That was not given to him just as a nice little nickname. He represents it because he has done moves and holds and chain wrestling moves that were back in the day. And when I mean back in the day, 70, 60, you name it, old school wrestling moves that people don't even know what their names are unless you ask Morrow. Morrow knows everything. The ending was weird, and I actually wrote my notes for it was Triple H showed why he's the man even at his age. The ending was kind of weird. The spear to Stephanie, the way she got involved, it almost felt like for no reason, and then she got speared almost out of her Beyonce-esque attire that she had. And then the 4 bounces off the ropes into the spear, it almost felt like somebody kind of missed the cue, and it looked a little bit awkward. But all in all, you know, I don't think wrestlers turning heel is the solution for everything. But I really think that in his case, it would help. And I actually liked the way he came out on Monday and again on Thursday when he said, "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy." I'm like, you know what? That's pretty good. That's a good start for you. And somebody pointed out, I think it was one of the guys from eWrestlingNews.com that pointed out in his article, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose reinvent themselves when the Shield is gone. New music, new attire, new everything, and yet you're still living under the Shield song, the Shield banner, and the Shield attire. It's time for you to evolve, in my opinion. And maybe in his case, turning heel will probably be a good way to go. And I actually was expecting it after Hawk Stanley mentioned it so many times. I really thought it was going to happen. But it didn't happen. He is the champ. Hopefully not for long. I hate to say it, but I really hope he doesn't start racking up title reigns, no pun intended. And just all short reigns. The next thing you know, you got a 10-time world champion who altogether, all 10 do not even make a year. That's one thing that I don't like. I didn't say this before. This is another reason why I'm not too happy with the next day losing the title, because to me it takes away from prestige. But even Harlem Heat held the title for one day. So if a prestigious group like that has a one-dayer, and so does many of the great legends, then so be it. It's gonna happen. But the match wasn't bad. I don't think it was that bad, and I'll give it a C, a solid C, C plus. But let's go with C plus, because I don't think it was not as bad as people made it seem to be, without even giving it a chance. They did the best that they could with what they had, and this is the way the company wants to go, then so be it. Hopefully there'll be change pretty soon. And hopefully, let's just call it, hopefully it'll be a phenomenal change.
Well, so Finn Balor got to make his WrestleMania debut as one of the extras walking in Triple H's entrance. Enzo was also there. I can't remember who else all they said was under the mask, but it's interesting that they were at WrestleMania, just, not on the card. So this match to me represents, I think, everything that's wrong with the internet wrestling community. I thought it was a good match. I mean, Triple H channeled his inner Arn Anderson like I haven't seen in a long, long time, working a distinctive body part, doing everything in his power to do that. I thought it was very Arn Anderson-esque, and Arn was probably sitting in the back smiling his ass off over that. A few things though. Number one, I believe that the spear that Roman hits and the Superman punch that he throws is the same arm that Triple H spent the entire match working on. So the selling wasn't there for me. So the psychology's off, and that's Roman's fault. Then you have Stephanie coming in the ring, puts her hands on the referee, chews him out, doesn't get disqualified. Then the referee clearly sees the hammer put into the ring. It's brought in, still doesn't disqualify them even after that. Triple H actually shoves the referee. The referee does not disqualify him. So basically, the referee handed that match to Roman Reigns. Because of what happened toward the end of that match. So the ending, definitely wonky. There's some memes out there, if you haven't seen them yet, where Roman's laying on his back and Steph's kind of on her side after she took that spear, and somebody put cigarettes in their mouth and made a meme out of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, overall, I gave this match a C+. The biggest issue I had is if I would have watched this match with fresh eyes, it would have been probably better, but I had already sat through over 4 hours of wrestling at that point, and it was a lot. And so by the time we got to this, the slow pace of the match, everything else, I like Triple H's use of psychology, the things he tried to set up in the moves, but there was enough bad with this to where I can find enough to complain about to put it in that C category. So I'm going to give it a C+ overall. So my overall grade of this WrestleMania out of 10, I said was 6.5, slightly above average WrestleMania. I've seen worse, I've seen better, but definitely not the worst show on earth like I was hearing from a lot of people after the show. Your guys' final thoughts and final rating on what you would call for WrestleMania, and then we'll get off the air.
I'm gonna say, at least in my viewing experiences from WrestleMania, this was probably the worst finish. And again, I'm gonna lean more on the crowd and more on the up and down of Roman Reigns in the main event. So I'm gonna say the worst closing to a slightly above average card for WrestleMania.
Cedric?
About a C plus.
Yeah, if we keep going with the grade, I think I agree with Hoxton. I think a C plus almost. I wouldn't really go B. I think a C plus is really pushing it because I really don't want to forget, the job that the girls did or the women did. They did a phenomenal job in their match. I definitely think the IC title match was a good second. Those two matches really did it for me. Again, the legends that showed up and who they decided to put them against to make themselves look good for just one night and one night only, I disagree. I really think that Rat Squash, you took the words out of my brain when you said, that's why the social outcast is there for. They're there to fill that blank or that void. Don't use your main carders, use your jobbers, and that's what they're there for. Your Tyler Breezes, all these guys that for whatever reason have been put as jobbers, even though they had good NXT careers. If that's why they have become the main roster, and they don't complain, like Tyler Breeze said. I just opened up my bank account statement today. I'm happy where I'm at. So if you're happy where you're at, then fill the blank. Be that jobber then. But overall, I think a C plus does it. But it's sad that for so long we knew that it was going to be in the Dallas Stadium. We knew the attendance record was going to be broken. I understand there were injuries that were not expected, but this is why you prepare your guys and you don't just rely on one or two folks. You try to build your guys in case of these injuries. But overall, it was much better than the internet community said it was going to be. It just wasn't that much better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So C plus, I think it's good for the overall, the whole show.
All right. Well, Tyler Breeze, I think he's 0-49 in his last matches. But I'm serious. I think that's actually what it is. Anyways, it's been great talking to you. Get your guys' thoughts. Event. We stayed away from each other and didn't talk anything about the event, so this is all good. It's good that we finally got to get this off my chest. I know I've been all week like, please, for the love of everything, let's just talk about WrestleMania. I just wanted to discuss it. So,
cheerleaders.
We spent over 2 hours today discussing this. So for you listeners out there, sorry, this was a long one.
At least it wasn't 7 hours.
I'm not sorry, damn it. But I'll say it wasn't 7 hours. Like WrestleMania was. Maybe one day we'll just do a live broadcast of an entire live event. You never know. We'll see what happens. But
predictions, pre-show, show, and Fallout.
In the same day, we'll just do it live. But,
doing it live.
But anyway, guys, thanks again. I'll have this up and then we'll see if we can get anybody's feedback. And again, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and see what you guys agree or disagree with the things that we've talked about. Until next time, Jobber's Court is adjourned.